Okay. Oh, the sound might be now good. I hope so. Okay. Welcome to the class, guys. A very warm welcome to the session of analysis of class maths, CBSE board exams, right? And I hope all of you have, done extremely well in the paper because the paper was extremely easy. Most of us know this part. And most of the questions were either from NCERT, or if you've done our MN Top 100 bit, then the questions were also from that part. Section A, Section B, absolutely easy. Section B and C and D had a bit more kind of tricky questions. Very few questions though. But still, most of you would have been able to do most of those questions and probably would be scoring the best possible result. Okay, so I'll quickly get started with the analysis. So fantastic. So as it says, CBSE grade 12 2018 board exam analysis. Let's get started. So look, I've already prepared the kind of breakup of the difficulty level, and this is what we perceive it to be. Most of the questions were easy, but still we have placed it as like 50% of the questions were pretty easy because if you have at least done NCERT, just NCERT, no reference book I'm talking about, still you will be able to attempt 50% questions without any extra thinking which you need to involve. 44% of the questions were kind of average, you may say. Right, just a moment. Yeah, 44% of the questions were kind of average. Just one question I figured out it to be difficult. It wasn't difficult. It was, you may say, it was a bit more lengthy. Few of the students were stating that the paper was lengthy, but most of you would probably, agree with me that the paper wasn't lengthy even. It was easy and it wasn't that lengthy. So I got a call from one of my students and he stated that I was able to finish the paper 45 minutes back. And I hope, Chaitanya, you are also watching the session. So according to him and according to few other students, precisely it is, the paper wasn't even lengthy. It was kind of easy question in comparison to the questions or, your way of paper you used to get in your previous board years. So for instance, in 2017, if we see, there were 26% of the paper was kind of having difficult questions. Most of the questions were of average level. Very less questions were kind of easy if I compare it with the previous year board paper. And now there's a huge jump. Whatever it was average in the previous one, that turned out to be easy this time. So the paper was entirely easy. The difficult section were kind of none. At least if you have done NCERT, you would be far more comfortable to get any score above 80. If you have even done NCERT thoroughly. Thoroughly is an important word. Okay, without wasting any time, let me get started. But you might be very, very curious to know few answers, maybe, though the paper was easy. So let me get started with the analysis of the question paper. So what I'll be discussing would be set 3. I'll be discussing this. So anybody who has set 3 can just refer to the questions of set 3. I'll show you the solutions up front. The people who have set 1 or 2, they can just search for their questions in the respective sections because most of the questions were the same, or almost all the questions were the same. So you can just see what question's solution is being discussed on the board. So I'll start with the first question of set 3. Though the paper was of 100 marks, we all know that part. Time was 3 hours. So question number 1, extremely easy question. It was a direct question on dot product. So 2 vectors were given to you. I hope you remember this. 2 vectors are given to you. The question was asking about the magnitude of A and B. You're going to be applying the dot product over here, by which you will be able to calculate the value of A, magnitude of A times magnitude of B. That'll be equal to 9. And both the magnitudes are given to us as equal. So you're going to get the magnitude of both of them equal to 3. So I hope this first question was would have been done very swiftly. It was a very clean question and a normal question. So if I talk about the second question was a question from your inverse trigger. If you can directly, if you at all remember the values of these angles, you can directly use them. No, it is root 3 is tan pi by 3, and minus root 3 will be the value of cot 5 pi by 6. Don't make it cot pi by 6, because or cot minus pi by 6. Cot minus pi by 6 won't give you the correct result, because the domain of cot, that would be the only mistake which you might do. But don't do this, because it's not written, but cot has a range between 0 and pi, right? So take the values between 0 and pi. Don't take negative pi by 6. That won't give you anything. Okay, and then you're going to be just replacing the values over here. You'll get the final result as negative pi by 2. You can also do few of us might have tried it with a different method by replacing this cot inverse negative root 3 by pi by 2 minus tan inverse negative root 3. You could have also applied this, and you could have applied tan A minus tan B. In fact, in this case, tan A plus tan B formula. You will be able to get the answer very easily, swiftly. The answer will be negative pi by 2. That was the solution to the next question, question 2. And I hope most of you would have done the question correctly. And if at all you guys have any doubts, do let me know in case you want to check with your method and stuff. Third question, again, a easy one. These were confidence boosters. You have the question, you say, okay, fine. This question is very, very simple. But one thing which I would like to mention, guys, and probably you can just take my words and just keep this in mind for the upcoming papers. And if the paper is easy, don't be overwhelmed by that, right? So don't just start making silly errors because the paper is easy. So you feel more confident that I'll be able to do all the questions because the paper is easy. So you go on making silly errors. Right? For instance, over here, you might forget this negative sign, convert it to positive, you will get a different answer. So that'll be an incorrect one. Avoid doing these things, please. Okay, so question number 3 was again an easy question, a direct question on binary operations. The operator is being given to you. You're going to figure out the largest value between A and B, as it states. Largest value between A and B is 10. You can replace it over here, add them, you have your answer. So these were simple questions. You don't have to waste time in elaborating all the steps, because these questions were 1 markers. You just need not had to waste time on these questions. So just you can skip few steps if you want. Okay. The fourth one, let me check the question. The question was, okay, matrix A is being given, and that's a skew symmetric matrix, and you need to figure out the value of A over here. So if it's a skew symmetric matrix, so you need to know these words. Section A was entirely based on the basic formulas and the terminology, if you know about it. So skew symmetric matrix is not A transpose is equal to A. Skew symmetric is A transpose is equal to minus A. Hi, Chaitanya. Welcome to the class. So, and I've already welcomed almost all of us. Okay. And I hope all these questions I've discussed, most of us have got it correctly. So skew symmetric means A transpose is equal to negative A. As soon as you're going to apply that and compare the matrix, you will get the values of A and B directly. So you don't have to think anything further beyond this. You have your answer right away. Okay, if I talk about the fifth question, let me just see what was that. Okay, a black and a red die are rolled together. Find the conditional probability of obtaining the sum as 8, given that the red die results in a number less than 4. It was again a kind of simple question. What you need to do is you need to make the favorable and the total cases carefully. You shouldn't miss any one of the cases over here. So just a moment. Okay, so over here, you will create the cases with 1, with 2, with 3, with 4, with 5, and with 6. These are all the cases wherein the red die results in a number less than 4, right? And similarly, you're going to be creating cases when the sum of the observation is 8. So you know when the sum of the observation would be 8. And thereafter, the probability formula, the conditional probability formula E by F, that means happening of E given that F has occurred. So happening of the sum to be 8, given that red die results in less than 4, will basically be the probability of happening of these two events simultaneously, E and F, divided by the probability of happening of event F, which is like getting less than 4 on the red die. So you'll calculate these probabilities because you already know the numbers. E intersection F will be just few outcomes out of F. You will divide them, you have your answer, which is 1 by 9. Okay, just a moment. The papers was really easy. Thank for your effort. You're most welcome. Kritanya, the paper was easy. Absolutely, everyone knows that. For top 100 question, bio. Okay, fine. Yeah, this is also important if you're like few of the students might be appearing for your bio, you know, board exam. So please try and see the top 100 questions which is provided by Merit Nation, because look, as I've seen in maths, most of the questions were there from top 100. If you have done them, you would be comfortable giving the paper. Okay, anyways, so let's get started. Question 6, as I stated, again, an easy question, though not that tough. So these are 2 markers. They would involve slightly extra calculation in that regards. So over here, A and B were given to you, 2 vectors. You need to figure out the value of not theta, but sine theta. So you first might say that what is theta? That's what we need to find out. No, you need to read the question carefully. You need to figure out sine theta value. For that, you will again apply the dot product, find out the cos value. You have the cos value with you over here, 5/7, and then you eventually will apply the formula again, figure out the value of the sine theta from the help of dot product. Okay, so if I talk about question number 7, I have the solution in the next slide. The entire solution is the part of it. So what was the question? The question was find the differential equation representing the family of curves. Okay, so there are 2 arbitrary constants. Because there are 2 arbitrary constants, you need to differentiate it twice. So in the first different derivative, you're going to get dy by dx is equal to by. So dy by dx is equal to by. And in the second differentiation, you're going to get d square y by dx square. It's being written over here, b dy over dx. So now you just need to replace the value of b over here. B is dy over dx times 1 by y. As soon as you're going to replace, you will be able to prove it. So it was again a simple direct question of replacement. You just need to know, because there are 2 constants, you need to differentiate it twice. Yeah, Shreya, thank you. And I hope you've tried it. Anybody who has tried MN top 100 might have got the benefit. Okay, anyways, question number 8, as I was stating, question number 8, a very, very simple question on integration. Such questions usually don't come. The questions of integration are usually tricky whenever it is asked in boards, but these time the questions were direct. Like you can visualize them. Okay, so over here you know that 2 sine square x can be written as 1 minus cos 2x. This cos 2x will get cancelled out. You're going to get sec square x, and integration of sec square x is tan x plus c. So you're going to just directly be applying that. Okay, and don't forget to mention this c. People tend to lose marks if you don't mention c. So if you have not mentioned it, anyways, now you can't help it, but still you should have mentioned it. Okay, question number 9. Marginal cost is something which most of us might not know, but still it was already defined in the question that marginal cost is the instantaneous rate of change, right? Yes, Kriti, your paper was easy. So so it is already given to us. So where the marginal cost, it is given in the question where the marginal cost by the marginal cost we mean that the instantaneous rate of change of total cost at any level of output. So the level of output has been given to us 3 units. So just differentiate it, we get the result, we put the value, we have our answer. It was again a direct question. Super easy paper. Okay, so let's move on. Solution, question number 10. Solution is there on board. You may verify it over there. So it was again a differentiation question. Mostly in inverse questions, you do not differentiate it directly by applying chain rule. You avoid that. So over here, you would apply the formula as it's being stated. You will apply the formula, and you will be able to manipulate it this way. Eventually, it will turn out to be pi by 2 minus x by 2. You will differentiate it. You have your answer as negative 1 by 2. It's a very direct and simple question. So I'll not waste time on this. Simple question. The next one was again pretty simple, 2 markers. So A is being given to you. If anybody knows the quick way of finding out the adjoint of A, so adjoint of A is quite simple. So what we do, we basically interchange. We keep these two. Sorry, we interchange these 2 elements, and we change the sign of the elements given over here. So we have our adjoint directly. So you can't do it directly, but at least you can cross verify, and then you will apply the A inverse bit, and you have your answer with you. So it was again a simple question, kind of. Okay. And there was a question on, question number 12. Okay. So question number 12, it was a proof question A very simple question. It can be done by just placing x is equal to sine theta. If you've placed it, you have your answer. There is no point going ahead. It's just a direct formula of sine 3 theta, sine 3 theta. You're going to have it. So you can always look, we're going to be making the solution live probably in next 45 minutes to an hour. So you can just visit our website. If at all people around here can share the link. So you can visit the website and see the detailed solution over there. So you can have the solution of almost all the questions. Okay, section C, which were like questions of 4 marks. So this is the first question, which was kind of a bit more average, sort of tricky question. And I must say over here, there are basically 2 ways to do such questions. This is the way when we are taking order into consideration. 1, 2, and 2, 1 both are taken into consideration. If anybody has not taken order into consideration, for instance, you have done 5C2, right? In that case, you're going to get 10 outcomes, which will be the total outcomes. In that case, you just need not have to consider these, orders into picture. Still, you're going to get the same answer. That method is also a correct method if you have applied that ways. Though this was again a simple question, you need to find mean and variance. You will be able to do it the way it's being told over here. Okay. So this was again a kind of simple question. So if I talk about question number 14, the AOD part, the maxima minima bit. So over here, the language was kind of a bit tricky. You might not be able to relate that what do we mean by finding the cost of material or minimizing the cost of material. Minimizing the cost of material. Cost of material will basically be the surface area. So you need to minimize the surface area. So you know the volume, you're going to be taking the volume to be a constant, taking the variables as x and y, and then you're going to be replacing or finding out the surface area first, differentiating, finding out whatever the process of maxima minima is, you're going to be applying that. And you have your results directly. As soon as you're going to put it equal to 0, you have your results as x is equal to 2y, which gives the result that the height must be half of what the width is. So you have your answer directly from that place. The only tricky part in this question is to understand that what basically do we need to differentiate? What do we need to maximize or minimize? In fact, minimize. This was a value-based question, so you need to put your remarks over here. Don't forget. So now if the surface area is there, so it thus making the tank economical and cost effective. So this could be a value-based question. Or this could be the answer to this value-based question. If you've forgotten this, probably you're going to lose few marks. Question 15, again, not that tough. It was a direct question. You have both the parts were kind of easy. So you can check the solution. You need to put the value of x. You will get the value of y. Y is given to us as positive, so select one value. Then you'll find the different derivative. You will find the equation of normal, equation of tangent. That will give you your answer. And if I talk about the question which was there in your optional question of this, so over here it's a 4-degree polynomial which you need to differentiate. Once you're going to be differentiating, you need to figure out or express it as its factors so that it's easy to construct the wavy curve. Once you have the wavy curve, you know the periods on which it is positive or negative, and hence you have your final result. So this is how you could have done question number 15. Okay, 16 was again kind of easy. Both the questions were direct differentiation in the part first. You can directly differentiate it. You have your result. So waste of time in discussing this. Second one, again, pretty easy. MN Top 100 had a question of this sort. So this is parametric form because this is a parametric differentiation. So you can just directly differentiate both of them with respect to theta and then differentiate. And then take the ratio to find out the final differentiation. So the detailed solution will be there on the website also. You can check it over there if you at all had any of the issues in solving such a question. Okay, question number 17, I must say this was again a simple bit because over here again you need to just do the differentiation directly. Differentiate y directly, you have your results. You need to replace the value of d square y by dx square and dy by dx in the equation. You have your answer with you. Extremely simple question, question number 17 also. Okay. You may put it on average front because it involves a bit of calculation. That's it, not more than that. Okay, question number 18. Similarly, on the same lines, it's a simple question which talks about what? Question number 18. I'm talking about part A. Find the particular solution of the differential equation. This is the variable separable equation. Because this is a variable separable equation, So you can directly separate the variable and integrate. Integration is also very simple because in the numerator, you have your derivative of the given denominator. It's again a simple vector. Okay. Question number 19. Now this makes this question, I would put it in an average category. This was kind of a bit a question which involves a bit of calculation, and you also have to remember this formula. So shortest distance between two lines, because these lines aren't parallel lines, they are skewed lines, we can see. So we can figure out the shortest distance between two lines. If you know this formula, it will be a direct question. If you don't remember the formula, probably you might have faced some challenge. Question number 20, a simple question. You can just check it out in your in our website. The solution would be there. The only thing which you need to do is you need to replace sine x to be t. Once you're going to be doing that, apply partial fraction, you have your results. So it was again a pretty simple bit. Okay, question number 21. I'm going a bit more fast because these questions were easy questions. 21, I would like all of you to just go through these questions once from the website, because this question was kind of not that tough. It was a simple question, but still you need to see which even to assume what is even, what is E2, what is A, right? So A was event of getting exactly one tail. So it was a direct question on Bayes' theorem. It was very, very visible from the language of the question itself. So you can just check it once. It was a simple question. Apply the formula, have the answer. That's how you need to work on it. 22. Okay, anything which is perpendicular to two vectors will be the cross product. You know that bit. So over here, B, what? B and C, perpendicular. D is a vector which is perpendicular to B and C. So you will take the cross product. You're going to have the perpendicular vector. You just need to figure out the value of lambda over there. So you just take the dot product. You have your result. So again, pretty direct and simple question. So I don't have the exact solutions over there. They are in line, but you can check the detailed solution on the website as I'm stating. These were easy questions though. 23 was a direct question on your determinants. Just apply this transformation to make it easy, then open it or expand it along row, any one of the rows if you want. The first row will be quite simple. So you can expand it, you have your answer over there directly. Section D, if I say, the questions were of 6 marks. We all know that bit. But I would say, let me just get the paper once. So yeah, section D, question number 1, the first question, which was a question on finding out the area of the region, was pretty easy, very direct. So question number 20, for just a moment. Yeah. So you know that there is a circle like this. This will be the equation y is equal to x. So this is x square. So don't take the radius to be 32. Radius is square root of 32. No, radius is square root of 32. This will be the point of intersection 4, 4. You can directly solve the question 4, 4. And if you have the point of intersection, you need to apply the derivative for y is equal to x, and then you need to apply the derivative for the circle equation. You just need to add both of them to have your result. Again, a pretty simple and direct question. 25th was kind of a bit more tricky if you don't know what is an equivalence class. Part 1, if I'm talking about, if you don't know the set of elements related to 1. So these were kind of tricky parts. And over here, you need to be a bit more, in 25, especially first part, you need to be a bit more careful in terms of expressing everything specifically based on the language which you're using. Right? So you need to write down everything very, very properly, but still, you can, the solutions aren't very much clear over here. But it'll be an equivalence relation. Transitive was the only part which you need to see for. So I would request all of you to just go through the solution once it's being uploaded on the website, so as to see that how you should have represented the transitive relation part, especially in this bit, right? And then solving the equivalence class will always be a set. So don't write it in the form of 2, 2 and 2, 6 and 2, 10. This will not be the equivalence class. The equivalence class is defined as in the form of a set. So it should be a set, not the set of ordered pairs. It should be a set containing some elements. Okay, and part B was kind of a bit more easy than part A because you just need to directly express it in terms of your quadratic. And in this quadratic, 1 minus 4y square must be greater than or equal to 0. So prove everything, the 1 bit and the onto bit. And finding FOG is something which nobody fears of. So that I hope all of you would have already done. 26, a very simple question. You can do it on your own. 27, a direct NCERT question. I must say exercise 12.2. You can check exercise 12.2 question 5. This was a direct NCERT question. Just a few values were tweaked, else it was exactly the same. So you can check the solution from there as well. Similarly, if I talk about question number 28, direct NCERT question. Direct NCERT question. In the actual question, which is there in boards, 16 is over here and 9 is over here. We have presented the solution on this slide. You're going to be getting the exact solution, but on this slide, this is the exact NCERT question. So you can check NCERT exercise, miscellaneous exercise. I don't have the exercise number, but the page number is 5353. So you can check it that way. It's question number 30. Okay, so that's all. The last bit, which was very, very simple. I have it over here. 29. We haven't figured out any question simple than this in a 6 marker, right? This was the simplest question. Both the parts were very, very simple. You can again check it on the website, the exact solutions. So hopefully this was all the analysis bit. The paper was easy. Most of you might be getting great marks, and I would just keep my wishes with you. Very good luck on your score. Good luck for your next upcoming papers. Have fun, enjoy, and hopefully you enjoyed the session. Thank you very much, guys.